Welcome to our channel, where we uncover the hidden stories and rare treasures hiding in everyday coins. Some dimes may seem ordinary at first glance, but among them are extraordinary pieces that have fascinated collectors for decades. Let's get started. You might think a dime is just a dime. Small, silver, easy to overlook in a pocket or a coin jar. But what if I told you that one coin in your hand, the 2010 Roosevelt dime, could tell a story that spans decades, honors one of America's most remarkable presidents, and might even hide tiny surprises for the eagle-eyed collector? That little coin isn't just money, it's history, art, and craftsmanship all rolled into 17 millimeters of metal. The 2010 Roosevelt dime is part of a long tradition that began after World War II, when the United States decided to honor Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the man who guided the nation through the Great Depression and the early years of World War II. FDR was more than a president, he was a symbol of resilience. Stricken by polio, he never let the disease define him, and his fight against the illness inspired the March of Dimes, an organization that still fights to protect children from disease today. That connection to polio is exactly why the dime carries his likeness, a reminder of hope and determination in even the smallest of everyday objects. Looking at the coin, your eyes are immediately drawn to the obverse, the front. Here, FDR's portrait faces outward in a dignified three-quarter profile. Every detail of his expression, from the determined gaze to the subtle lines of his face, was crafted by John R. Sinek back in 1946. Sinek's work has stood the test of time, and even decades later, the portrait captures the essence of Roosevelt's leadership and humanity. Around the edge of the coin, you see the word liberty, the phrase, "In God We Trust," the year 2010, and the small letter D indicating it was minted in Denver. This tiny mint mark might seem insignificant, but for collectors, it's a clue, a signature of where the coin came from and a hint at potential variations that could make a dime stand out. Flip the dime, and the reverse reveals an equally thoughtful design. A torch shines in the center, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch. These symbols aren't random. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch stands for strength. Together, they tell a quiet story. This coin embodies ideals that the nation values, all in a space smaller than a quarter. The words, United States of America, curve gracefully above the design, while one dime grounds it at the bottom. It's remarkable how much meaning is packed into a coin so small, yet every detail feels intentional, precise, and enduring. The making of the 2010 Roosevelt dime is an impressive feat of modern minting. Though small, it is composed of layers, primarily a copper core with a nickel coating, that give it a silvery sheen. Each coin is struck with incredible precision at the Denver Mint, where machines press the design into the metal with immense force, creating the raised, detailed images that we admire today. Even the tiniest detail, the lines in Roosevelt's hair, the edges of the torch, the letters of the inscriptions, reflects hours of careful planning and engineering. Collectors often find that the true magic of a coin lies in its condition. A 2010 dime that's been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition can tell a very different story than one worn by decades of circulation. Look closely at the surface. Is it smooth and shiny, or are there scratches and tiny dents? Are the edges crisp and the letters clearly defined? These subtle cues reveal a coin's history, and for someone who loves numismatics, they make each specimen unique. And then there are the errors. While the 2010 Roosevelt dime might seem ordinary, it's worth examining carefully. Minting errors, tiny deviations from the standard design, can appear in countless ways. Sometimes letters are doubled, sometimes the coin is struck slightly off-center, or the finish might vary unexpectedly. These quirks are not flaws in the traditional sense, they are anomalies that make certain coins fascinating to collectors. Spotting an unusual feature can turn a seemingly common dime into something special, something that tells a story beyond the usual. Even without considering its rarity, the 2010 Roosevelt dime is fascinating for the story it carries. It's a tangible link to one of America's most influential leaders and a reminder of the ideals that shaped a nation. Every time you hold one, you're connecting to a moment in history, a piece of artistry, and the meticulous craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint. For those who appreciate coins, it's a small treasure hiding in plain sight, one that invites curiosity, examination, and admiration. So the next time you reach for a dime, pause for a moment. Examine it under the light, rotate it slowly between your fingers, and take in the details that most people miss. Look for crisp edges, smooth surfaces, and any unusual traits. Appreciate the artistry in the design, the care that went into minting, and the story of Franklin Delano Roosevelt quietly captured in metal. The 2010 D. Roosevelt dime might not shout its significance, but for those who look closely, it's a coin that demands attention, a piece of history small enough to fit in your palm but large enough to carry meaning for generations. Coins like this remind us that even the everyday objects we take for granted can hold surprises. A humble dime becomes a window into history, craftsmanship, and the passion of collectors who study, preserve, and admire them. Treat each one with care, and you might just discover something remarkable hiding in plain sight. Now let's move on to another fascinating dime, the 2002 D. Roosevelt dime. This is not your everyday pocket change. While it looks similar to the coins you've seen your whole life, this one carries a story that makes it truly special. It belongs to the same Roosevelt series, honoring one of America's most admired presidents, yet it holds secrets that only careful eyes can spot. The obverse of the coin presents Franklin Delano Roosevelt in a calm, resolute profile. Sculptor John R. Sinek's work has stood the test of time, capturing Roosevelt's thoughtful expression and sense of purpose. Above his head, the word liberty stretches proudly, while in God we trust rests along the lower edge. The year 2002 sits beside a tiny D mint mark, signaling it came from the Denver Mint. That small letter is far from ordinary. For collectors, it unlocks clues about the coin's origins and subtle variations that make it unique. Turning the coin over, the reverse reveals the iconic trio of symbols, a torch representing liberty, an olive branch for peace, and an oak branch symbolizing strength. Every line and curve was designed with intention, even on a coin so small. The sharpness of the torch, the intricate leaves, and the perfectly aligned inscriptions reward anyone who takes the time to look closely. It's a miniature work of art, carrying decades of meaning in just 17 millimeters. What makes the 2002 D. Roosevelt dime extraordinary is not immediately obvious. Millions of these coins were minted that year, yet this particular specimen possesses qualities that make it stand out. Its rarity is subtle, tied to a combination of near-perfect condition and unique minting characteristics that only the most attentive collectors might notice. A dime like this might be hiding in a jar of change, waiting for someone to recognize its significance. Condition plays a crucial role in what makes a coin remarkable. The surfaces of this dime are pristine, with crisp letters, sharp edges, and a flawless finish. Unlike coins that have been worn smooth by circulation, this dime has survived decades almost untouched, preserving every detail of the design. For collectors, such preservation transforms an ordinary piece of currency into a treasure, a physical connection to history and craftsmanship. Even more intriguing are the subtle anomalies that can occur during the minting process. Tiny variations, such as differences in strike pressure, alignment, or surface finish, can make a coin stand out from millions of others. These imperfections are not flaws, they are unique markers that tell a story. In the case of the 2002 D. Roosevelt dime, its particular combination of features and condition has turned it into a sought-after specimen for those who appreciate the nuances of coin collecting. Holding this dime, you can almost imagine its journey. From the presses of the Denver Mint to countless hands over the years, it has endured, preserved against the wear and tear that affects ordinary coins. Every contour of Roosevelt's face, every leaf of the torch and branches, every edge and inscription remains remarkably intact. It is a testament to careful handling, meticulous minting, and a bit of luck that it survived in such condition. Rarity in coins is often about more than just numbers, it is about survival and preservation. Millions of 2002 D dimes were made, but only a few exist in this remarkable state. That combination of scarcity and condition captures the imagination of collectors everywhere. Each glance through a magnifying glass uncovers more details, more evidence of its unique story, and more reasons to admire it as a piece of history. What makes this dime even more captivating is the sense of connection it offers to the past. When you hold it, you're not just holding metal, you're holding decades of American history. You can picture the bustling Denver Mint, the rhythmic sound of presses stamping out coins, and the meticulous inspections ensuring each piece meets exacting standards. It's a small object that carries the weight of craftsmanship, precision, and legacy. Collectors often say that coins like this tell stories the textbooks cannot. They reflect a moment frozen in time, a tangible reminder of the artistry and care invested in every minting. For someone who studies coins, even the tiniest detail, a raised edge, the curve of a leaf, a slightly deeper strike, becomes an adventure in discovery. And now, after exploring the history, artistry, and uniqueness of this coin, it's time to reveal why it has captured attention like few others. This 2002 Roosevelt dime, in exceptional condition and with rare characteristics, carries a staggering value of $36,000. For a coin smaller than a fingertip, that number might seem unimaginable, yet it reflects its rarity, preservation, and the remarkable story it carries across time. This dime is more than currency, it is a small treasure, a bridge to history, and a symbol of craftsmanship and legacy. It shows that even the simplest objects can hold extraordinary significance when they survive the years in perfect condition. For collectors and history enthusiasts alike, this coin is a reminder to look closely, appreciate the details, and recognize that true rarity is often hidden in plain sight. And perhaps most importantly, it challenges the way we think about coins. A small dime can carry immense history, beauty, and intrigue. Every preserved line and every careful strike is a story of the people, the mint, and the era it comes from. For those who encounter it, the 2002 Roosevelt dime is not just a coin, it's a tiny gateway into the extraordinary. The next dime we're going to explore is the 1998 Roosevelt dime. While it might look like the coins you've seen in your pocket countless times, this little piece of metal carries a story that deserves attention. It belongs to the long-running Roosevelt series, honoring a president whose courage, leadership, and vision continue to inspire generations. But beyond the historical significance, this coin invites collectors and enthusiasts to slow down and truly appreciate the artistry involved. On the obverse, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's portrait greets you with a calm, resolute expression. Sculptor John R. Sinnock's work, introduced in 1946, continues to impress with its precise detailing. Roosevelt's eyes, his jawline, and even the subtle contours of his hair convey a sense of determination and poise. Surrounding the portrait are the words, "Liberty," and, "In God We Trust," while the year 1998 sits beside a small, P mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That tiny P may seem insignificant, but for collectors, it provides insight into the coin's origins and the subtle variations that can appear during production. Turning the coin over, the reverse presents the familiar trio of symbols, the torch of liberty, the olive branch of peace, and the oak branch symbolizing strength. These symbols have been part of the Roosevelt dime for decades, yet each coin's details can vary depending on the strike and condition. The torch glows in fine detail, the leaves of the branches are distinct, and the inscriptions are crisp and precise. For anyone willing to look closely, the reverse is a miniature testament to artistry and symbolism. What makes the 1998 Roosevelt dime so interesting is often hidden in plain sight. While millions were minted, the coin's condition, strike quality, and tiny production variations can make each specimen unique. Even small differences in alignment, surface texture, or depth of the strike can catch the attention of an observant collector. These subtle distinctions are what make numismatics such a fascinating hobby. Imagine the journey of this dime. It was pressed at the Philadelphia Mint alongside hundreds of thousands of its companions, then distributed across the country. Some ended up in cash registers, others in pockets, wallets, or coin jars. Yet a few, preserved carefully or simply fortunate enough to avoid circulation, have survived in remarkable condition. The sharpness of the letters, the clarity of Roosevelt's portrait, and the perfect detail of the torch and branches all speak to the coin's story over time. Even tiny imperfections or variations can tell a story. Slight differences in how the coin was struck, minor tonal variations, or the faintest scratches can provide collectors with clues about its history. These are not flaws but rather markers of uniqueness, a way to distinguish one dime from millions of others minted in the same year. Holding this dime, it's easy to feel a connection to the past. You can picture the mint's presses rolling, the rhythmic stamping of designs into metal, and the careful inspections that ensured each coin met exacting standards. Even though it's small, the coin embodies both artistry and precision, a reflection of the effort that goes into every piece of currency the U.S. Mint produces. This coin also encourages us to think about the legacy of Roosevelt himself. Every time we study his profile, the torch or the branches, we are reminded of his leadership during challenging times, his fight against polio, and the enduring values he represented. It's remarkable to think that such a tiny object can serve as both currency and a symbol of history. Collectors often describe coins like the 1998 P. Roosevelt dime as teachers. They teach observation, patience, and appreciation for craftsmanship. The raised edges, precise letters, and intricate symbols are all lessons in design and manufacturing. Even decades after being minted, this dime continues to reveal details to anyone who takes the time to examine it closely. Even if it seems ordinary at first glance, the 1998 P. Roosevelt dime is anything but simple. Its preserved details, careful design, and place in a historic series make it a piece of living history. It demonstrates that even small, everyday objects can carry meaning, artistry, and intrigue, waiting for someone to notice and appreciate them. Every collector knows that coins are silent storytellers. They can reveal the technology of the mint, the economic environment of the time, and even the personal habits of those who handled them. A coin like the 1998 P dime invites exploration, whether it's studying the strike, spotting subtle variations, or tracing its journey through countless hands over the decades. The beauty of this coin lies in its dual nature. It is both ordinary and extraordinary. Ordinary because it was part of everyday transactions, extraordinary because so few survive in exceptional condition, perfectly preserved and still crisp after more than 2 decades. It's a reminder that history often hides in the smallest places, waiting for someone to discover it. Looking closely, one might notice the delicate textures and subtle lines that make Sinek's design so enduring. Each element, the torch, the branches, the lettering, reflects thoughtful design choices and careful craftsmanship. Coins like this bridge the gap between art and utility, showing that even objects meant for commerce can carry elegance and meaning. For history enthusiasts, the 1998 P. Roosevelt dime is a tangible link to the late 20th century, a period of technological advances, cultural shifts, and enduring traditions. For collectors, it is a lesson in detail, observation, and appreciation. In the last, we turn our attention to a dime that has captured the fascination of collectors for decades, the 1991 P. Roosevelt dime. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin in circulation, easily overlooked among hundreds of others. Yet, hidden in its small size is a story of craftsmanship, history, and rarity that makes it truly remarkable. This is a dime that invites careful observation and appreciation from anyone who holds it. On the obverse, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's portrait stands out with crisp, commanding detail. John R. Sinek's design from 1946 continues to impress, capturing the dignity, resilience, and quiet determination of Roosevelt himself. Every contour of his face, the subtle texture of his hair, and the expression in his eyes tell a story of leadership and perseverance. Surrounding the portrait are the familiar inscriptions, "Liberty" above, "In God We Trust" to the side, and the year 1991 beside a small P mint mark, marking its creation at the Philadelphia Mint. That tiny P may seem insignificant, yet for collectors, it serves as a key to understanding both the coin's origins and its unique qualities. Flipping the coin over, the reverse reveals the classic trio of symbols, the torch representing liberty, the olive branch for peace, and the oak branch symbolizing strength. Every line and curve reflects intentional artistry. Even small details like the delicate veins in the leaves, the shape of the torch's flame, and the sharpness of the letters speak volumes about the care taken during minting. Coins like this show that even objects meant for everyday transactions can carry profound craftsmanship. What sets the 1991 P dime apart is not immediately obvious. Millions were minted that year, yet this specimen stands out due to its exceptional condition and subtle minting characteristics. Its sharp edges, crisp inscriptions, and flawless surfaces hint at careful handling or simply a stroke of luck that allowed it to escape circulation and remain virtually untouched. These small qualities are what transform an ordinary coin into something extraordinary for collectors. Even tiny anomalies can make a coin remarkable. Differences in strike pressure, alignment, or surface finish, though often imperceptible to the untrained eye, are a collector's treasure. They are not flaws but rather fingerprints of the minting process, markers that distinguish one dime from millions of others. The 1991 P dime, in particular, demonstrates how such subtleties combined with pristine preservation can elevate a coin to rare status. Holding this dime, it is easy to imagine its journey. From the presses of the Philadelphia Mint, it rolled out alongside thousands of its peers, then traveled across the country, perhaps passing through countless hands, wallets, and cash registers. Yet, it survived decades with its details intact, each line and curve preserving the legacy of the Roosevelt design. It's a tangible connection to history, craftsmanship, and the passage of time. Collectors often describe coins like this as storytellers. They teach patience, observation, and appreciation for artistry. A closer look reveals how even slight scratches, tonal variations, or minute differences in the strike become part of the coin's narrative. Every glance through a magnifying glass uncovers layers of detail that a casual observer might miss, turning a small coin into a window to the past. This coin also offers insight into the broader history of the Roosevelt series. Struck in 1991, it represents a period when the U.S. Mint blended modern production techniques with a commitment to preserving traditional artistry. It reflects decades of design evolution and the enduring appeal of Roosevelt's image on American currency. Owning or examining a coin like this is like holding a piece of that story in your hand. The rarity and condition of this dime make it a standout for collectors. While millions of Roosevelt dimes were minted in 1991, only a handful have survived in such pristine form. Its combination of careful preservation, precise minting, and subtle uniqueness gives it a status that elevates it far above ordinary circulation coins. For those who appreciate numismatics, it's a lesson in history, art, and the unexpected value of small objects. And now, the moment that highlights why this coin has garnered attention across the collecting world. The 1991 P Roosevelt dime, in exceptional condition and with rare characteristics, was sold for an astonishing $62,000. For a coin smaller than a fingertip, that number might seem almost impossible, yet it reflects its rarity, preservation, and the story it carries through decades. This dime is more than just currency. It is a bridge to the past, a testament to skillful craftsmanship, and a reminder that even the smallest objects can hold immense historical and collectible significance. It encourages collectors and enthusiasts to slow down, examine closely, and recognize that true treasures are often hidden in plain sight. Every detail, from the torch to the olive and oak branches, tells a story of careful design and historical continuity. It is a symbol of Roosevelt's enduring legacy, the artistry of Cynic, and the precision of the Philadelphia Mint. Holding this coin is like holding a fragment of history, a reminder of the craftsmanship and care that go into even the most everyday objects. If you've enjoyed exploring these fascinating dimes and uncovering the hidden stories behind each one, thank you so much for watching. If you want to keep discovering rare coins, unique collectibles, and the secrets hidden in everyday objects, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you'll never miss an exciting journey into the world of coins.